So Linda's like, in an effort, because she's a great leader, she's like, let's rally the troops. 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday. And we all start saying 2. And I start laughing. What blows me away is you counted 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we start singing 1, 2, 3. Like it should have been like 5, 6, 7. Happy birthday to you. 5, 6, 7, 8. This birthday's been brought to you by Zatarans.
But they got like their hat on. They got like their striped outfit. You got Harry Connick Jr. One more again. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you know?
Oh, and they run out of the kitchen.
Yeah. How are we doing, friends? It's great to have you back for another conversation with Rhett and Justin right here at Armchair Authentic, a podcast where we're stewarding our stories and our relationships in a way that serve you. And today, Justin and I, we had a ton of fun. Our conversation goes left, it goes right, it goes up, it goes down, it goes a little bit all around. But I tell you what, there's one thing that's for sure. We had a lot of fun and a lot of laughter, and we cannot wait to share this episode with you. But before we do, we always want to take a moment and say thank you to every single one of you who've taken the time to share our conversations with a friend. For those of you who have copied the link from your favorite podcast platform and shared it either via text or email, or some of you airdropping it to coworkers at the office, it really does mean so much to us. Thank you. Now, for those of you who might be joining us for the very first time, we want to say welcome, friends. It is so good to have you along for the ride today. If you haven't already done so, could we encourage you? Would you take a moment to go online to Facebook or even Instagram and look us up? Hit the like button and follow and subscribe. You can find us there at Armchair Authentic. That's at Armchair Authentic. Or we're over on X. You can find us there at Armchair Auth Pod. That's Armchair Auth, AUTHPOD. All right, friends, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's jump into the conversation. You guys ready? Here we go. Okay, Justin, so it is starting to turn spring here in the South, even though it's technically, March? You know, I'm used to living, after spending 5 years up in the Northwest, it stays winter till about early June.
Yeah.
It feels like it. And so I'm mentioning that because today, as I was I'm in a position right now, and I'm going to spare the details because it's just not a story I want to share just yet. But we're in a situation where I'm getting to take my son back to school. Like in the mornings, I'm waking up early, and so I have the opportunity and the honor to feel like I'm back in elementary school, taking my grown teenager to school.
World.
Yes,
that's my everyday.
And just so to fill in the blank, nothing bad has happened. It's just literally all I'm going to say is I'm down to back down to 2 cars. I won't tell you how I got there. That'll be a story for another day.
That's right.
But anyway, so 2-car scenario again. And here we are taking our, taking my son to school. And I noticed that I probably sneezed, bro, like, I don't know, 10, 15 times in a small little 10-minute ride. And I recognize that I don't even know how to say it. But when I sneeze, I just like the whole world, like I could crack a window. I sneeze so loud that my son was like, God, Dad, it's so loud. Are you kidding me? Like he's like over there, like singing me getting ready to sneeze.
You let it go, man.
And he is like cringing, like putting his hands in his ears. And I don't know, it had me thinking, first of all, and this is so funny. Like after about 6 sneezes, my son's looking at me, and all of a sudden he turned from a 17-year-old to Dr. Max. Dad, when you get home, you need to take some allergy medicine and spray whatever you have to spray in your nose because this is, you're obviously allergic to something.
Yeah.
And so I say all that to say, like, my wife will mention to me that, could you sneeze any less loud? But if you think about my personality, and if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you recognize that I don't do any I go all in with everything I do.
It fits.
I have literally pulled my, not I want to say pulled my back out, but I have popped vertebrae in my back when I've sneezed before. It's so, if you're listening to this as a friend today, are you a sneeze? Are you like the loud? I don't even know if there's a definition for this, but when it comes to sneezing, it's allergy season. Like, are you a loud sneezer? Are you like, you know, are you like, you know, like it's like my spirit, my soul, all that is within me from the depths of me comes out like, and it's so loud. And I literally, if I'm in a public place, like I literally am pulling my shirt up over my mouth and like over my nose. I'm like, oh dear God, hold it together. Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I can't control it. I've tried. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose.
I usually put my mouth and my nose in my elbow, you know, the crease of your arm to try to silence it the best I can, but not hold back. Yeah. There's nothing
But are
better.
you allowed? I haven't heard you sneeze in a long time, but
I would say I'm a pretty loud sneezer.
And it might come from the fact that, you know, we were trained opera singers, not that, you know, we did that in a season and stuff like that. Being able to use your diaphragm in a way to project. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But if you're a friend today and you're listening, comment, are you a loud sneezer, a no sneezer? You know, let me just tell you this. I've heard people sneeze before, and I don't like, you know, pointing people out, but like I've heard people like that little, you know, I'm like
they're going to blow up.
If they're a friend, I'm like, how in the world did your eyes just not pop out of your socket? Because
that's what I'm waiting for.
I mean, is it
what relief did you just give yourself?
I know,
because
none.
It feels good when I just scream.
And most of it is, you know, it's more of the ladies that are out there. You know, you've got your little cute little sneezes and stuff. But I'm like, it's okay, let it out. Like, my gosh, let the lioness out. Like, just let it go.
Sneezes are funny though. If you think about it, we're so conditioned that people just know you sneeze. I'll be in my office and I'll just let some sneezes go. And it will occur to me how loud it was in my office.
You hear it through the walls.
That, you know, that we do that and we automatically give each other credit that was a sneeze. Yeah. But if I just broke out and screamed as loud as I sneezed, people would think, what's wrong with him?
I know. It's bad.
It's funny how we just naturally sneeze and it's okay just to let out a loud scream randomly.
And you'll hear
if you think about it.
And you'll hear, it doesn't matter where you are, you'll hear the random, hey, bless you.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from? Was that like, God bless you, you're an idiot? Or is that like, may the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you blessing? Like,
or is it the myth? Isn't it the myth that your heart stops? You could risk your heart stopping, and so the bless you was more of a way of.
Is it like, I don't know the history of that.
You're alive.
And I don't know if we want to look that up right now as we're doing this, but like, where did the bless you? Like what, I don't know. If you think about hiccups, nobody says bless you.
Right.
You know, cough, nobody says, you know, bless you.
Yeah.
But why is it that we've decided that when it comes to somebody sneezing, oh, bless you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I feel like it has to do with near-death experience.
And you're like, thank you.
Yeah. It's traumatic.
Why all of a sudden does this stranger care about me when I sneeze? Like, thank God you didn't die on that one.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Well, it gets a little awkward after they give you 2 bless yous, but then you have a sneezing fit of 3 and they're like, bless you.
Oh, yeah,
and then it's a 4th, and it's like, you're not going to bless that one, or are you getting tired of it?
Well, if you think about, like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's me. Mine normally come in 2s.
Yeah, usually
but like,
me too.
I was under some kind of like, I don't know, something flew up my nose or my nostrils on the way from like my house to the truck.
Weather in Alabama.
And like trees are starting to bloom here. You know, the dogwood trees are turning white. And I'm like, man, this is beautiful. I love that we're having spring as early as we are.
It's nice.
But like, I don't, all that to say, like I normally have a sneeze and I know there's another one coming. And I know this about you, but I open this up to our friends in the audience.
Yeah.
What is it about when you know you're trying to sneeze is like, why is like, look into the light. Like whatever you got to do, I notice people and I do this. I'm like, oh, where's the light? I need to look outside. I need to look at the sun. What is it about that actually engages a sneeze?
I believe it might be some sensors inside that light creates the same reaction. When you look up, it allows whatever it is that lets a sneeze go. I forgot what it is. I feel like it has to do with sensory something.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe I've looked this up. Maybe I'm making it up. But I know that I have to find a light. If I want a sneeze to come out, I'm like, at night, I'll be in the car. I'll turn my bright light on.
I know, like you turn your little like headlamp on.
I'm looking at the road, but I'm trying to stare. You got to make that little face where you're like, you know, you kind of got your lip puckered up a little. It's like it creates the right inlet for the nostril to hit the right place where the senses just oh, and here it goes.
Yeah, and what I don't know, man. I mean,
Well,
you can even hear it in my nose right now. I'm
You're a little stopped up.
I'm a little stopped up. That's why I'm talking about it. So I took I took Dr. Max's orders. You know, here's a cookie, take 2 of these, you'll be better in the morning. But I came home and I sprayed the spray, which is like, I think Afrin, because my nose was stopping up. And by the way, I had no idea. Like, I took that stuff one time for like a month, like every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this stuff is great. I can breathe every day. And then my wife's like, how long have you been taking that? I'm like, I don't know much. She's like, you're only supposed to take that for like 2 or 3 days.
Really?
And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, that's not good. You can actually ruin your whatever. And I was like, I didn't know that. And then I quit. And I was like, this is kind of hard to quit. I didn't realize this was like a drug.
Yeah, you're addicted.
I was addicted to it. Didn't even know I was addicted to it.
It's
But I'm
kind
like,
of, it's kind of like eye drops.
I'm like,
eye drops are the same way.
Okay.
I used to use eye drops, and it would make red eyes turn just that pristine white. And I thought, God, that looks good.
Yeah.
Because I can get red eyes.
well, you wear a
up.
lot of contacts.
I do, yeah. And ironically, I'm wearing glasses today.
I know. I've noticed this 2 days in a row that I've seen.
I know.
Are you giving your eyes a break?
No, I just decided to wear my glasses again a little bit.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah,
It's matchy, black on black.
It is.
You know?
It's my old dark rim
You
glasses.
just got to change it up, don't you? You got a new haircut.
A new haircut. Yeah.
You got the glasses.
It's all new, man.
I'm sure you
all
walk in
things
it.
new. Oh, people made the reaction.
Oh, they're like, dang, I
They're
like that.
Man, what's going on with
I
you?
don't know. That's that creative vibe. You just got to like, once you think you got me figured out, I'm just going to throw you a little curveball.
That's about it. but the eye drops, I mean, my eyes would be so white, but I just kept doing it every day. Like, I want that result.
Yeah.
But you're
Why not?
You're not really supposed to do that with eye drops, like red eye type drops.
Okay, I did
not just drops. I mean the ones that they're made to make the veins go in. It's like contract or whatever. Yeah, I think it's contract.
Okay.
So that it keeps your eyes just white.
Okay.
But it's not actually great for you. It's meant for those, a one-off kind of deal. And I would just do it every day because I became addicted to looking in the mirror and not
Why
looking
not?
tired.
You feel like you've got Niagara Falls in your eyes now.
Yeah.
Like you feel refreshed.
But then I find out it's actually not good for you. So then I had to kind of realize, all right, what's causing, of course, the 1 in the morning nights back then.
Is there anything more? Is there
helping.
anything more refreshing or more satisfying than a sneeze?
Love it.
In eyes that feel like they're just. People hate the word moist. I know. I don't know what the word is. What is the word?
One of our
eyes that are
listeners
moist
right now. That's for
refreshed?
you, Josh.
Josh, he hates that word.
Josh Daniels.
Oh,
hates that
Josh,
word.
if you're listening, man, I'm sorry. I started a pastor one time. He's like, whatever you do, please don't use that word again. I'm like, what is the deal?
I don't know.
With the
I
word,
love it.
It's like moist cake.
Yes.
Like you want it to be moist.
Absolutely.
What is wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing.
What has turned that word into a word like, and if I've said that word and it's offended you today or it's hurt you, please know I love you and I'm just trying to help you get better today.
Yeah, and you're not sorry.
No, and I'm not because
We're not gonna apologize.
I want to eat moist cake.
Yes. Why not?
And I want my eyes to be moist and not dry.
That's right.
And if there's another way to say it, please let me know.
We'll try to use that word. But
Yeah.
moist will suffice.
I think I just hit my quota on using that word today. Now it's starting to be like broom.
It's broom.
If you say
Words
broom,
list on me.
think about this, guys. I want to encourage every single one of you. Pick a random word right now. For us, we're going to say broom.
Let's say broom.
And just say it a couple times. Broom. Like broom.
Broom.
That is broom. Okay, now think about why in the world do we call it a broom? And where in the world do we choose BROOM for this device that actually sweeps things? Broom. Right? Think about it for a second. Okay, so that's a weird... It's a weird word.
Words lost on me.
When we were probably 12 years old, we had these conversations.
Oh yeah, and I still remember where we were walking.
Yes,
on our way.
Oh yeah.
By the guy's house right there that was never ever constructed.
No, I thought it was
walking towards Parkway.
I thought it was behind the car dealership of Parkway East, behind the Skate Haven area. We were walking that road, and there was the abandoned house.
Okay,
that's what I remember.
I remember walking from the Joe guy's house.
Joe, I don't remember Joe.
But it was that house that was never fixed. When you would walk past our apartment, that was on the left on our way to Parkway.
Okay, yeah.
I remember walking
Huffman
there,
Road.
and we'd walk in the yard instead of by the road. We'd walk like in the yard actually of the other, the houses we were passing.
I got it.
And I just remember us saying, broom, broom.
I know. And you know, that says
And
a
we
lot
were
about
laughing because it really didn't make
the
sense
dumbest
anymore.
word.
It was like, what is broom?
If you think about it, like who chose the word? Like I'm always in these are deep thoughts with Rhett Barden on Armchair Authentic podcast. I think about fork. Where did that come from? Like, because like a fork in the road usually means you come and you got to make a decision, go left or right. Why in the world does the word fork also mean that it's a utensil I use to eat something?
Yeah.
Spoon. Okay.
Spoon.
Like, I don't get it.
Spoon.
Broom. I mean, any word, if you think about it for too long and say it, it just becomes a really weird word.
It does.
So anyway.
And maybe that's what moist was beginning to happen with us.
So I don't think there's anything more frustrating as well than knowing you need to sneeze and then not being able to. Isn't that a downer?
Well, and it's a cruel joke when, you know, my wife Summer used to have this thing before she saw me sneezing. I don't know where she got this from, but she would say, "Purple cow."
Okay. What was she? Oh, she was trying to like get your mind off something.
It literally made me stop. And I was like, why did you do that? And how did that work? And that became a thing with us where anytime she'd see me about to sneeze, she'd say "purple cow." And it always.
Interesting.
To the point I was like, this is funny, but you can't do that. Like, I'm about to sneeze. I want to sneeze,
woman. Let me sneeze. I need the, whatever you want to call it. I just need the affirmation, the feeling that like, I got it out. It feels great.
And so I'll randomly say that to people now and it doesn't work on them. And they're looking at me like, where did purple cow come from? Like, no, never mind.
It's like a barrel full of monkeys. Whatever. It's just something stupid that tries to get your mind off. Like, what? Yeah, man, that's smart. Look at her. When did she do that? Y'all were dating?
Oh, yeah.
Was this when she knew she wanted to be a doctor in psychology and psychiatry?
No, she didn't have that yet.
Okay.
She knew she wanted to be a counselor. Okay. She was a photographer then. Okay. Beginning her counseling journey.
So thinking about words, this is something that I just happened to be, this is deep thoughts again with Rhett.
By the way, a barrel full of monkeys. That was like wasn't that like a toy? A barrel
I think it was
had
a game
bunch of
or something. It had like
monkeys
the
with a tail and you could connect them. Weren't they on Toy Story?
They were like
maybe
flat plastic monkeys in a barrel. Yeah. And they called it, and well, I don't know if it was a game or what.
Monkey barrel or a barrel full of monkeys?
I don't know. Somebody comment, let us know, you know, send us this. Okay, but I don't know where our conversation on the deep thought and leadership's coming out today, but I just wrote down a few things. When it comes to pronouncing words, like I know there's a difference between the area of country that you live in and how you pronounce things. So when it comes to the word TEN, okay, I didn't say it. How would you pronounce the word TEN?
10.
10?
10.
Or tin?
10.
Like a tin can?
Sure.
Or 10? 10. Because I will never forget the moment somebody's like, Red, it's not tin, it's 10. I'm 10? Like hen?
Right, 10.
Because I don't say 10. Hen, I say hen.
Hen.
Man, go get that hen. Not that. Listen, man, I grew up in an apartment complex in the city. Like there were no hens or chickens running around, but it was hens.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
10.
7, 8, 9, 10. How pen? 10. Or so like, hey, 10. Will you hand me that pen? Or hey, hand me that pen.
Well, there was a movie.
Such a small variable,
there was a movie in the late '90s, maybe called, and it was called like your skull. The movie was called Skulls.
Wait, hold on, skull or skull, like the stuff you chew in tobacco,
like a skull, like your skull, like your head, your skeleton, your skull.
Okay, skull. Yeah.
And evidently, I say that, and it doesn't sound like it because Summer would say, "What are you saying?" And I would go, "Skulls." She'd be like, no, it's skull. And I'm like, skulls.
ULL. Yeah.
She says, no. And I'll go, skull. And he's like, no, it's skull. And I'm like, skull.
So you're
skull.
You're Phoebe trying to teach, Joey how to speak French on Friends, and it's like it's not happening. Yeah.
To this day. I mean, I say funny. Skulls, and evidently it's not the right word, but I just go with it. I'm tired of figuring it out.
When you said that, all I could go when like listening.
You're thinking of the tobacco.
I was thinking of the tobacco in the can.
The kid's like skull, right?
Skull. Yeah, but you're saying it that way. Skull.
See, to me, that's SKULL. Skull.
Yeah. How would you say seagull?
Seagull. Seagull.
So you say that right? Yeah.
Skull.
All right. Okay. The big one is oil or oil.
Oil.
Yeah, oil for sure. But
oil.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I like to mess with people. Oil. I go get an oil change.
I do say oil, so I think I say it.
Okay, so
I would make most of our.
It's just so funny, man.
Proud.
I know I've said this before, but Chunk or Chuck?
I know because of you, because of your time in Idaho, that it's Chuck.
Well, but you ready for this? Like everywhere I go, like, hey man, Chunk it too. Chunk, like, and I had the conversation with a small group the other day here in the South.
It's Chunk.
They're like, Chuck. What are you talking about, Chuck? Chuck's
chunk,
a man.
You chunk
it, man. Just chunk it.
CHUNK.
Yeah, so
like the kid on Goonies. Chunk.
Hey, dude, did you hear that they're making the Goonies remake?
I did.
I mean, that's all I know. I haven't looked at it.
Well, evidently, wasn't the bad guys, they were the Fratellis?
Fratellis.
Remember the one guy who's like, that guy?
Yeah.
Supposedly, he's wondering if he'll get cast. I don't know if that's true or not, because he leans to the right, conservative.
Oh.
And whatever circle of Hollywood does not like that.
The liberal left wing
might not like it.
Says no. How? I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. But as inclusive as they want to be, how opposite is that?
It's very true.
It's very exclusive.
Yeah.
Because if you're touting, hey, we're so inclusive, we want everybody to be a part, but not you, because of your belief. I'm like, what? How is that inclusive?
If you're a bystander trying to look at it, I guess in a bipartisan way, looking at both, you can't deny looking at one thinking pretty exclusive. Yeah. Pretty intolerant.
I mean, it's like any other religion, but you start saying Jesus and he's Lord and Savior. Well, we don't want that.
Yeah.
And we know because there's power in that. Like we're living in this world, it's all spiritual, but like you can't say you're an inclusive group and then exclude somebody else.
Yeah.
And make it very clear that you're excluding them. But in that mindset, it's like they think that's normal. It's like, no, what? You've lost common sense.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well,
and I'm not picking on anybody that votes one way or the other. I'm just saying
I want the guy to be in the movie. Is what I'm saying. I don't care who he votes for.
Right? Think about it. He's a good actor.
I don't care if it's right wing, left wing. I want that actor, the Fratellis, in there to sing me an opera song.
Is he a good actor? Then by God, put him in the movie and bring back some great nostalgia, man.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah,
Chunk.
I mean,
I want to see Chunk as an adult do the truffle shuffle.
But have you seen this dude?
He's probably now built.
He is built. You would, dude. This guy is like built, and you would never recognize. Well, I don't know his name.
You know who Brandon, the brother, is?
Oh yeah, that was the older brother, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he was Thanos.
Thanos.
I did not know that until
crazy?
Like probably 3 or 4 years into watching Marvel.
Yeah, you try to flatten that dude's towers, Thanos. You wouldn't have done it.
But then you go back, and you're like little Brant or whatever they go. I don't know, but. He riding that little girl's bike down the hill.
Yeah, the brother.
Yeah. All that to say, man. My son hasn't seen that movie, and there's part of me that's like, I wanted to watch the movie, and I think we're old enough now to be able to watch it and appreciate it, but not be like really impacted by some of the stuff. And there was not really anything bad in there, but it was just this whole idea of
when me and Dax flew to Idaho years ago. What?
Oh yeah,
when was that?
2019. Yeah, or
when
20.
we flew there. I let him watch Goonies. He watched Goonies on the plane.
Oh, that's cool.
I just remember.
Yeah.
On the way to Idaho.
There's nothing wrong with it. I just, Okay, so with the Goonies, for those who love Goonies, I think it's one of those things. Did you know that when they play the TV Goonies, the TV, they act. Go with me here.
That's the Goonie theme song. Okay, I was trying to give you some background music for Goonies. Since we don't have a play button to bring any background, we do. We just got to utilize.
We could go in there and put it in, but we didn't know we were.
If we're gonna do, we need to just add some of this stuff to our normal repertoire and have some music to play.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
That way we can have silence and the music will still be playing.
Sounds good.
All right, but in the future, I'm going with you.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Well, because you didn't go with you didn't let the rhythm get you.
Dun dun.
Dun 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 dun.
No, okay, I remember what I was saying. So on the TV, the first time I saw Goonies on the TV version, and this is probably 10, 12 years ago, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, I love this on TV version. And all of a sudden, wait a minute. What in the world am I watching? This was not in the movie. And it was the part where I guess, they went down the water slide rock thing and they fall in the water. They're there and they do the pirate ship thing. And then when they're escaping the pirate ship, they're in the water trying to find, get out of the water and out of the whatever. Yeah. I guess they made it look like it was one of those island rocks thing. Yeah. But in the water, have you seen this? In the water, all of a sudden they get attacked by an octopus.
Yes. Where did that come from?
Exactly. It wasn't on. It was originally in the movie, but they had cut it. So back then they didn't have like DVD and they show you the extra bonus scenes that they cut.
The VHS tape didn't have that.
No, it didn't. And so But when it was on TV, it's like, we want to show these random scenes that weren't in it. And I was watching this like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
The movie was great until
but then it makes
octopus looking thing.
But if you fast forward another 10 minutes or whatever, they're at the end, the police come, they're like, hey, they saved the day. They're all talking like, oh, and then this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And, they rip up the papers and all that. And then I think it was the Asian kid saying, oh, and there was this octopus that came out and I'm like, so when you watch the original movie without that scene, you think he's just making stuff up.
Oh, wow.
But because they filmed it that way, he's actually speaking about what actually happened. But
yes,
they gave the context of, they're just making like what kids do. They over exaggerate.
And you're thinking, you don't have to exaggerate.
Yeah,
that was an epic story. It already sounded exaggerated. And we know that it happened because we're with you. But you lost me on the octopus because that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Just talk about One Eye Willie.
But there was another.
Gold. Don't touch the gold. You greedy punk.
You greedy dirtbag. You greedy dirtbag. We were just talking about the Lorax the other day.
We were.
Oh, man.
That's such a good one. Let it die, let it die.
Let it trip. Who was with me now? You greedy dirtbag.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, man. If you haven't seen the Lorax, you obviously don't have kids.
I do hope that Goonies, the remake, comes out, and I hope that they include. Well, I guess the mom for Telly is dead. She died a long time ago because she was later on.
I think she was literally like a sweet person in real life, but she played like a really good
She
bad.
was really good. But the two brothers, like I think one of the brothers was the one who was like on all these like the fugitive movies like that with what was the guy's name? Not Harrison Ford, but the
that's
detective.
what I was going to say.
No, the detective guy.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
I just remember Harrison
Tommy
Ford.
Lee.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh yeah,
he was like the assistant to Tommy Lee Jones, and that was one of the brothers as the Fratellis.
Yeah, what a good movie. And like I've learned this is what I like about like movies and stuff. When I find out something's coming, I'm like up or out or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to know any. I don't want to see a trailer.
Yeah.
I just want to go in it blind. I don't want to hear reviews. I don't want to hear, you don't know. Okay. I just want to be able to show up at the movie theater and watch it and let it be a complete surprise.
Okay.
It's hard to do,
especially this day.
It's really hard to do, but like if I find if a trailer comes on and I'm watching television, oftentimes I'm like, if I know I want to see it, I don't watch it.
That is amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah. Now
I'll watch them like
sometimes it's like
10 times.
Sometimes it's one of those to where I'm like, okay, I really want to, like, Star Wars stuff. I'm like, okay, I got to see this because it's typically Star Wars. They don't give away the plot or the scene. They're just showing you like some really cool stuff. You're like, okay, I can't wait to see this. But I guess maybe for me, the Goonies would be more like, okay, I've got it in my head as a memory, and I just kind of want to see how they. I don't want to prejudge it based off the trailer. I don't know.
It's funny how. Trailers used to be versus now. Back then, you'd always have the narrator, and they'd basically script the whole thing.
They really would.
It started out on a cold morning. A new kid moves into a town he's not really aware of his surroundings.
Yes.
And then it finally starts. And it's like,
yeah.
And he wakes
the
up.
Terminator comes into town and kills everybody.
I'm going to kill you. And it's like they say what he just said.
And you see the bad guy die right there for whatever, and they're like, well, I don't have to watch the movie.
It shows like Rocky at the end yelling out Adrian. It's like, well, I guess he wins.
He's got the United States flag around him. Everybody's cheering and lifting him up. And it's like, okay, well, we know the ending.
It just walks you through the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's true, and I guess maybe from that scarring and traumatic experience as a kid, I don't want to watch trailers because I don't want the movie to be ruined.
But
especially if I'm
used
spending
to watch our trailers because we wanted to be the first to call the character that we were.
Well,
So I guess you just don't do that anymore.
I'm curious if there were any other group of kids growing up in the mid '80s, early '90s, and when movies came out, like you just called the characters. That to me, it's like, was that just something that we did, or was that something?
I don't know. So a movie
did?
comes out. Let's say Young Guns. We went to go see Young Guns when we were kids in the theater. Don't know how we got to go see that, but we did.
That's another story.
But I remember the preview came on. You were the first to see it. You called.
Yeah.
Actually,
Billy the Kid.
Bo saw it first, and he called Charlie Sheen because Charlie Sheen was the big
He was
actor.
a very popular actor that didn't last long in that movie.
And then
Maybe
you
it's because
called
they had to
Emilio
overpay him to
Estevez.
only get so much time, so we
Yeah.
get this little cameo, and then you're
I
dead.
finally get my character called. Y'all saw the commercial before
Yeah.
me, and I call Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep.
And we're
So, but-
watching the movie,
Yeah.
and it was funny when, like, the first half of the movie, they kill off Charlie Sheen.
Hey friends, Rhett here. Just want to take a moment to interrupt our conversation to remind you, if you're enjoying today's conversation, if it's put a smile on your face, would you do us a huge favor? Would you take a moment to copy the link from your favorite podcast platform and share that with a friend? Man, that would mean so much to us. Thank you. Now let's get back to that conversation.
The first half of the movie, they kill off Charlie Sheen. And we look at each other, me and you, we're like,
Yeah.
trying not to laugh too hard.
Yeah.
And Bo cannot believe it. His
But
character's
I just-
dead. And then he just says,
What, do
I'll
you-
be Lou Diamond Phillips.
Do you think it was because we just lived vicariously through movies because that was our escape to get us out of whatever our reality was, and we thought if we could call the main character, then we were actually like, ooh, because you didn't really know who the main character was in
was
the
a
trailer.
guess.
It was a guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like winning the lottery, you know.
Yeah, you just didn't know.
You didn't know what
You were always glad to know you picked a cool character.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
kind of
a
like a
safe
box
bet
of,
with
it's
you.
like
I
a
mean,
box of chocolates.
You picked.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You picked Billy the Kid, and the movie was about Billy the Kid, so it's pretty safe that you had a good character.
And maybe if we didn't really realize that the history lesson in this was going to take place in that time frame, maybe if from an adult perspective, we would have seen, oh, this is going to be about Billy the Kid.
Okay, yeah, you might.
But we
not
didn't
have
know.
known. Okay,
I don't know.
I just figure you knew and claimed the main character.
Yeah. So, but Goonies, it's impressive to me to meet somebody like Mark Clement, and who you talk about Goonies, like I didn't see it.
Oh, he
I was like,
didn't?
no, he's like 10 years older than us, so he missed that whole Goonies train.
Yeah, we're not.
and
we love that about you, Mark.
I love that you. I love that you are the elder in our friendship. That's
We like that.
yeah. Okay. So this past weekend, I don't want to say this. Yeah, it was this weekend. God, it's amazing how things can get blurred together.
Yeah.
So I had a moment that happened. So we were celebrating Linda's mom's birthday, whom she is a February 29th birthday. So she's what do they call that, leap year.
Wow.
Yeah. So
She's like what?
she's like 17 years
16,
old.
17. Yeah.
Yeah, so February 20th, for those who don't remember, the month of February is typically 28 days until leap year. Then there's the February 29th. So there is a select few of human beings on the planet who are actually born on a day that's not always a day.
Yeah.
And so we celebrated her birthday, but we also combined it with Linda's sister, Terry.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
what do you do? Do you claim either the 28th or the 1st? What
Usually
becomes
it's
your
the first.
birthday?
Usually it's
Okay,
the first.
Got it.
I mean, and I think that's up for the decision. Like that's
Unless it's leap year, you get to claim your actual day.
and that's
Okay.
why I think she's literally just 17 years
Yeah,
old, according to
exactly.
the actual
Every
date.
4 years, she gets to.
So that's got to be kind of
birthday.
fun to say.
I
you
would
know?
think that's cool. Yeah.
So something happened, and it happened around the Happy Birthday song. I don't know if anybody else thinks that this is an awkward moment, but if you think about it, that song is really an awkward moment for everybody involved. Now, if you're really,
many ways.
if you're outgoing and you like a lot of attention, then God bless you. You're going to love the moment because but 90% of the people are like, it's introverted. Not everybody can sing.
No.
Who starts the song? In what key is the song going to be?
Well, let's
see if you start breaking it down.
Even if you look at that alone,
Yeah.
it's like the national anthem.
Right.
You got to start that on a pretty low key.
You
or
really
you've
do.
got yourself a high song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got to be extra careful right there. Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh boy, that's too high. You know,
So happy
see,
birthday. You usually need to think lower than higher.
So I'm setting the scene up to know, all right, the moment is the cake comes out, and these are grown adults, right? I mean, and
it
all
it wasn't just cake, it was moist cake.
it was moist cake. Thank
I
you,
would hope
Terry.
so.
Terry made her own cake, which is great. So,
Wow, Terry.
so Terry's birthday's a couple of weeks out, but they made the decision. Let's celebrate it together.
That's very sweet.
It was
Mother
great.
and daughter
Yeah,
bonding.
so cake comes out. They light 4 candles, two for our mother-in-law, 2 for Terry. I was like, man, this I don't think was there not enough room for all the candles? And I'm not going to throw
Chintz
them
on the candles, but anyway.
I wasn't. They were like, well, let's keep it simple. And then here's the awkward moment. And I don't know, friends, is this an awkward moment for everybody else? First of all, who starts the singing? and that's a lot of pressure.
It is.
Because everybody's kind of looking around. There's
They
that
usually
moment.
look at the vocalists in the room.
And they all looked to me.
Yeah.
And they did. But I just started going, happy birthday, right? And nobody joined in. Nobody Nobody sang. In fact, let me rephrase that. I got into happy, and I'm starting to sing, and I'm looking at the people around me, not at the person we're singing to. Like, come on, join with me, don't leave me alone, And I get to that happy birthday, and then Jay Lee, also a musician, phenomenal drummer, starts trying to sing at that birthday part, and then look over, and nobody else is joining in. I'm like, okay, fail. But let me speed this up. So this happened really quick. I was like, happy birthday. And then Jay Lee's happy birthday. And then looked to Linda and she's like, this ain't working.
It's a glorified row your boat.
It's horrible. And then, Moraine, we call her Moraine, Linda's mom, and then Terry are looking. And it's just it's awkward, man.
Happy birthday, guys.
Right. It's almost like forget the song. We love you. Blow out the freaking candles.
All four of them.
Yeah, let's just eat some cake. And so Linda and her genius, and we laughed about this the other day, and this is okay. She, I don't know if she gave me permission. I don't know if she gave me permission, but we're going to go for this. All right. So Linda's like, in an effort, because she's a great leader, she's like, let's rally the troops. 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's literally what she counted. Okay. Now she's like, 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday. We all start saying 2. And I start laughing. And then people are like, why are you laughing? And I'm like, I can't explain it. Because I'm a musician. And so we all get through the moment and blow out the candles. And I'm like, oh, I like 5, 6, 7, 8. I said, honestly, what blows me away is you counted 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we start singing 1, 2, 3. And we're all musicians here. So what should have happened was 5, 6, 7. Happy birthday. Hey, to you. Happy birthday. Hey, to you. Happy birthday,
New Orleans
happy
jamboree.
birthday, happy birthday to you. like it should have been like 5, 6, 7. Happy birthday to you. 5, 6, 7, 8 birthday. I'm like, this birthday's been brought to you by Zatarans. This is a Zataran. I'm like, man, all the Louisiana people are like, let's go. 5, 6, 7 birthday to you. And I'm like, but
they got like their hat on. They got like their striped outfit. You got Harry Connick Jr.
It's a Harry Connick Jr. Happy birthday.
One more again. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Woo! Happy birthday. Come on now. Happy birthday to
and they run out of the kitchen.
Yeah. So that's what should have happened based off the count, but we white folks up in, middle central Alabama. Happy birthday. But at the end of the day, it's like communication. You might not get the words right, but as long as everybody's understanding. And so so in her defense, even though the rhythm was off, we all followed, we all sang, we all got through it.
It worked like a charm.
But the good news is we now have a new happy birthday song in the Barden family moving forward. Y'all ready for it? 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday. Woo! And we're going to make it fun. Yeah. So I might even record something, get a guy with a trumpet or fire the Zatarans. So all my Louisiana friends that work with Linda at Highlands College, you got to give her a hard time. Just go walk up to her. Come on, Dan. Walk up to her and go 5, 6, 7, 8. And so
it's like going to Munster Plantation at Six Flags. All that music going.
I'm sorry, it's Monster Mansion now. But yes. Yeah. They have politically corrected the name of Monster Plantation to Monster Mansion. Please.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. Okay. Is it really?
It really is.
Okay,
it's
Monster. Check out Monster Mansion. If that music is still on.
Yeah, it is.
The music
it's
allowed?
Still there.
Okay.
They just changed the word. John is at the Monster Mansion.
Okay. Wow. They really did.
Okay, so that brings up a whole nother thing. If you've ever gone to Six Flags in Atlanta, there is a water boat ride. It's basically kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but yet just themed around this monster plant. I can't say it, Monster Mansion. and we're these monsters, and it's very Louisiana type stuff. And then like you get to a point where it's like, oh, it's fun, but then this little sheriff's like, stay out of the marsh, and of course, what are you doing? Don't go in the marsh. And you like you're going like a mile and a half in this boat, and you like, and you go up this little conveyor belt into the dark, and it drops, and then it's just like you're in the marsh, and then it's like
there goes that music.
Yeah,
the Lorraine.
Now you're out of the 5, 6,
is
7,
leaving.
8. Now it's like crickets and creepy, and it's a miniature haunted house for about the next minute. And then you come back out to the party. 5, 6, 7. Man, you got out the marsh. We're so glad you made it. Come back anytime, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, that was classic growing up.
But we'd have a new birthday song. So I just want you to know.
That's phenomenal.
So, you know,
that's a good
you want
story,
some inspiration?
Man. That's a good story.
5, 6, 7.
To you. One more game.
So in my mind, we got Harry Connick Jr. going on over the keyboard, jazz player. You know, it's like,
I thought I saw Santa in the
yeah, okay.
That's
good
a good
times,
one, bro.
So the joys, man. I mean, you got to find the laughter and the joys in everyday life because it happens all the time.
Well, no rhyme or reason makes it fun too.
man.
5, 6, 7, 8 at that speed should not have brought y'all all
That's
in
what I'm
slowly, but it
saying.
was like clockwork, and
That
y'all were
we went
perfectly
with it.
on rhythm, and it made no sense. So I
Made
can
no
imagine
sense.
you.
I was like, oh
during
my
the whole
God.
song laughing like we are so owning it. There's no reason.
There's zero reason.
There's no reason we should be on right now.
Zero. And that's the you know, so I don't know if the point of the story is that despite miscommunication, we're all still together. That's a great leader. So kudos to my wife. I don't know if she was speaking vision into the future of where we want birthday songs to be. So it's a lot more fun.
She 5, 6, 7, 8 that thing.
It was so good, man. It was so good.
Man. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. I had to turn the man. I don't know. We're in that season of it's cold in the morning, kind of warmer in the afternoon.
Did you just do that with your phone?
Yeah, I just
You're
turned
so
the
fancy.
Well, I just turned
This
the
resident. I got to go press a button on my wall.
Welcome to
air
the
on.
21st century.
I see that, man.
You know?
You've got
I got the
the
app.
alarm that tells you.
Well, it's not
Hey,
like
Justin just came in.
I'm like doors open because I unlock it from my phone.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah. You're making me sound like a lot fancier than I am. When we bought the house, it was just, they call it a smart house. Our house is stupid without the internet. So,
I got a
but
stupid
think of,
house
hey
then.
man, we had so much, like at the time of this recording, we just had a major storm come through Alabama. And so last night our power went out, and it was in the between of like the electricity wanting to stay on, but then going off. Have you ever experienced this? I feel like back in the day, it went off and stayed off. But like now, I don't know the technology, if it's
Flickers.
like, it flickers, and then it comes on, and comes back on. And all of a sudden, after about 5 or 6 attempts of that, it's just, you know, and it's black. And so it's so amazing how disconnected from the world you become when the power goes out super quick.
Oh,
Because
man.
no internet.
Yeah.
My phone battery's almost dead.
What
and
do
I'm
we,
thinking,
and it's like, what do we do?
what do I, and I was like, I had to find one of my phone charge. Like I have these little portable phone chargers I take when I travel. And I was like, Max, do you get that? And I had enough to charge my phone a little bit more so I could continue to try to text without internet.
Yeah, the power flickered for me, and I'm plugging up phones. I'm plugging up my flashlights that charge just in case, because it got pretty windy.
Yeah, and you got a lot of trees
I got
around your
a lot
property.
of trees around my property.
Here's what I noticed when the power went out, and I think there's a lot of spiritual significance to this too. But man, when all the power went out and it got quiet and it was dark and you could like literally hear the wind, you like feel. It's almost like I could hear the house moving. You could just hear it creaking and moving.
Oh yeah,
and you could almost feel the pressure of like I don't know, so quiet you could hear everything when it was turned off.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me the intricate little details that you would normally not hear when there's not the resonation of electricity or
true.
TV,
The little buzz
or the
that
buzz,
we don't even know that
or
exists
the white
in our
noise
house.
that's there.
It's just silence.
It was silence, and it's almost like you're forced.
You're forced.
You're forced to just sit there with your thoughts. There's something about that quiet moment, just to unplug.
And even just to do that in general, even power being on, we've been doing this thing. We probably have dinner together as a family. We sit at the table at least 5 nights a week.
That's awesome, bro.
And then the other nights we'll serve them. They'll be playing their games.
Yeah.
They're gamers or YouTubers, so they're doing their thing, and I'll come and deliver some taquitos or whatever, like a good meal that you don't have to be sitting at the table.
So you said that pretty quick. I want to clarify. Taquitos, not tequilas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't give my kid tequila.
No, taquitos. We're talking little tacos, basic. Not tacos,
they're like rounded.
Yeah.
So good, by the way.
They're very good.
But
Do you get those from Publix, Sam's, Walmart, Costco? There you go.
We buy in bulk everything at Costco. And so I'll deliver it to the boys while they're playing. It's like I'll literally just kind of simply just sneak in.
You're making it so hard for those kids to ever want to leave their house. You know that, right?
Oh, totally.
I do the same thing.
Here I go, buddy.
You want a fresh baked cookie?
Yeah.
Aren't you blessed? You ever want to leave this house?
Good job killing that guy then. Wow. Headshot.
Yeah. We did the same thing as kids. Man, you killed him, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a little more, correct. So I will yell down if I'll hear my youngest saying like, "Oh, I killed him." I'm like, eliminated him.
You're politically correcting the definition
because
here.
he's on the headphones with his friends at school, and I don't know how every parent's different.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to at least be like, I tend to have a little more relaxed.
I know you're going somewhere with your story, but can we pause it for a second and talk?
Yeah, we'll hold that.
So think about that when we were kids, the unfiltered talk that we had. Oh man, kill him, and take him out, boom, 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 whatever. We played like, I don't want to call it murder because it wasn't murder, but we played cops and robbers and whatever. And Well, I don't think we ever played cowboys and Native Americans.
We played war. All the time.
Did you notice what I said? We never played cowboys and Native Americans.
Oh,
like
I did notice that.
I hate to say this, but like we grew up when it was cowboys and Indians, and as a kid, I never thought anything less as a derogatory thing. And I know if that is, my apologies, but that was the world we lived in. But it was really all this idea about just, I don't know, man. The war was really our big thing where we were like, go hide. And we had these plastic guns that did not have an orange tip on it.
They looked real, brother.
I mean, literally, if you think through the parent lens now, like you open up the blinds, you look out, you got these little 9-10-year-olds with guns that are metal.
I'd be calling the police.
And they look real. And it's like, what in the world? But this is a new day.
Normal.
But like we did that. And now on the other side of things, like we are, like, I think it's, I don't know, we're thinking through the lens of, should we really be saying,
we also walked around with real swords.
Oh, man. Oh, yes. And, we want to talk about stupidity. Thank God we didn't kill anybody. We would literally kill ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We would take a bow and arrow.
Oh, that was so dumb.
And we would point it in the sky straight up.
We'd go into an open land.
Oh, yeah. We were smart enough to do that.
This was at the farm.
So the farm. No, I remember going elementary school in the little dirt
that was a big field.
Lot. Okay. If you think about it now, it's not as big as it was for a kid. We thought it was plenty big.
I guess you're right.
So we would take those bow and arrows and we would stand right there in the middle,
stuff,
pulling them up in the air. Kids, if you're listening, do not do this.
Do not.
This is the stupidest thing. We do not acknowledge this.
This is grace on our life.
This is complete grace. But we would release that bow and arrow arrow straight up in the air. Now, granted, these weren't like some power bow. Like these ones that could kill a deer. I don't think. Maybe it was. Mine wasn't.
Buddy, they
were. So we let it go. Okay, we let it go. Shoot it straight up.
It was real.
We shoot it straight up in the air, and then all of a sudden it's like Russian roulette with us bow and arrow. Then we would disperse and run from the little circle as wide as we can, hoping to God it doesn't fall on us.
And you find a spot and you stand still and wait
till it drops.
That it doesn't land on you.
How stupid were we?
It would have taken us out, Rhett. That's the sad thing about it.
That was the dumbest thing. I think we might have lost all respect for people at this point for our childhood. Or, wow, it's amazing that God can take somebody that's so stupid and make beauty from ashes.
Well, that's the kind of listeners we have that will see that option.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went outside. We played war. We did
It was the norm.
And we survived. And
I've tried to, that's my natural talking, and I'm not meaning anything towards it.
Exactly.
But I do have that awareness of I'm trying to be sensitive to other parents, and I want my kids to be the kids too that get to hang out with other kids. So I'm just like, if I hear like, I killed him, I'm like, hey buddy, well, you eliminated him.
Yeah, I know.
Just because it just makes me feel like that's a better word to use. And honestly, the game that I let them use
Yeah.
or play that I actually enjoy, and these are my two youngest, it's Fortnite. And one thing I appreciate about Fortnite is when you do eliminate, it's like that little machine, they disappear.
What? Yeah.
So it's almost like it really is like you were eliminated from that battle and you come back. So I
So
like
it wasn't like Mortal Kombat.
It wasn't. They don't show things like a if you're playing another game that might show blood or Mortal Kombat stuff like that.
You remember the
So they
ending
keep it
of Mortal
clean.
Kombat?
Oh, finish him.
Finish him.
And it's like, whoa, this is like so
yeah.
morbid.
And you got to learn how to do the right move that does the fatality.
I honor you for being able to try to choose more life-giving words, because I do think that's important. And I think there's a balance to it, obviously, you know, but I think I do honor you though, because I do respect that you're trying to keep other parents and their kids in mind, because there are parents that do lean that way and and have that, and that's a very honorable thing.
And I'll take the risk of being too politically correct in this situation.
It's good.
And so, but as I was saying, I'll go to on a certain nights, usually maybe a Saturday, maybe a Thursday. We'll give them their food. But there's 5 days we're sitting around the table.
I love it.
What we've been doing lately, like we'll normally have conversation. We might, for a season, we would pull out, like we had Lance Ingram on our podcast, and we would do one of the 365 devotions for the family.
Book.
Awesome stuff. Now we've been doing this game. We call it Imposter. And I know one of the boys must have gotten this. I'm not saying we created this, but it's almost like that game that was online called Among Us.
Okay.
Where you basically are the imposter and you're trying not to be found out. But that's a video game.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can actually, it makes more sense, but we'll sit around the table, we call it Imposter. And so if there's 6 of us, one person basically doesn't play each round. And so how we do it with movies.
Because you have to have an odd number?
You got to have the one person who's actually knows who the imposter is.
Okay.
So it might be
sense.
like, let's say we want to make the movie. The movie's Toy Story, but you don't know this. So let's say Summer is not in the game.
Okay.
She's gonna. For some reason, we have a theme song when we play this game. So
Of course
right now,
you do, because you're a creative musician.
right.
And you got to elevate the experience.
and it is for some reason
I
it's
would do the same thing.
AC/DC Thunderstruck.
Okay. Yeah, it's played at every single sporting event in the world.
And that's playing on the table so that there can be secrecy. So Summer's going to call all the boys and me, and let's say it's Toy Story, she's going to tell everybody the movie is Toy Story.
Okay.
And by the way, if there's a sequel, they can all be in play. So it doesn't matter. It's the franchise, Toy Story. Let's say I'm the imposter.
Okay. But we don't know you are. But she knows you are.
She's going to say to me, "You're the imposter." And she'll give me, we came up with this idea, like give one hint so that it's somewhat relevant, so you don't give yourself away on the first hint.
Yeah.
So she'll say, she'll say, "You're the imposter. Your hint is hat." Like Woody. It might not even be that obvious. So now we're sitting at the round table.
Yeah. But only you, as the imposter, know that because of a side conversation. So as you get into, now you're playing with nobody knows
all
this.
psychology.
The imposter is the only one that knows.
No one has a clue, and no one knows who is the imposter. So I'll wind down like, "I was born." You got that AC/DC song going. Without voice and a sing. We fade it down. 80s fade out.
Yeah. Fade out. Sorry.
And it goes to each person.
Do you remember that episode?
Oh yeah. And they go to each person and they'll say a hint. Yeah. And so we're teaching our kids, be vague. You don't want to give away too much. And the whole game, you're studying each other.
You're watching, it's body language.
And after
it's
a
kind of like
few
you're playing
rounds,
it's like you're playing poker. Who's bluffing? Who's
so fun.
Yeah,
you'll go about 3 rounds, and then whenever somebody thinks they're ready, they'll call an emergency meeting.
Okay,
and begin discussing. So if you're the imposter, you're trying to find who you're accusing too.
Okay.
So it's a fun mind game at the table of the Bradshaw house.
That's great.
We're like these little psychologists.
I love it. Yeah, of course you are.
And we are so addicted to this game for
fun.
like 2 weeks. Yeah. That's what's been like on our...
Kind of hard to play with 3 people, I would think. Yeah. I mean, like I'm just speaking about my family.
Next time you have the group come over.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is fun. It's like, well, we have some friends coming over Thursday. I think we'll probably try to play Imposter, see how it works with another family.
Gotcha.
But you were talking about how when the power goes out, it's these moments that we have had such a good time.
Yeah.
And our kids every night, before that, it's like we might give them a little more time to go play before bed. saying, "Oh, can we do Imposter tonight?"
Yeah, you're creating moments of it in this
'cause
experience together
it's
as
so
a family,
fun.
and it's there. There it is. It's fun. Like kids want to be with their parents. They really do. They want to enjoy their time with them. And not every moment's going to be enjoyable because, like, I mean, there's discipline and no child likes to be disciplined. Well, I don't like to be disciplined, but there's life that comes from it. Thank God.
Yep.
You know, but for the most part, like kids want to be with their parents and who doesn't want to be with their parents who want to have fun from time to time and make in your with your brothers and your sister, not you, but like, you know, your family members together. I think that I know. We're going to always do that.
I think we're going to have a button, by the way, that we start hitting for every qualifier.
I say that because I don't want people to think Justin has a daughter. I didn't know Justin had a daughter. Where's this person at? You know? So all that to say, yeah, man.
But that will, and it's going to be fun with friends. But we talked, and I had someone reach out to me from the last podcast or a couple of podcasts ago that was talking about pillars and leadership. And they were so moved by it, and they just wanted to reach out and say, "Man, that message you guys spoke about, that was you nailed it on the stuff that I feel they've been feeling this for a long time, and they didn't know how to verbalize it."
That's really good.
And so that was a reach out. But what I took from that too is that investment. We were talking about Mario Kart, and you know the joke we made, but really and truly, these investments that we're actually making. I'm having the time of my life, by the way.
Yeah.
But there are investments that are being made around that table.
Yeah.
And it's not just to have fun now or just to force family time, because there's nights too that it's like, hey, we're going to hang out and play something. And they're like, but I want to go do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, not tonight, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to have some family time. So it's not always like the want to and the get to, but it does turn into the moment of we're investing time, and this is going to become the long game we're playing here. The goal is that they're going to want to be back and bring their spouses and come and say, well, we got to play Imposter with mom and dad tonight.
Yeah. I think that's I mean, you know, again, I just think it's important, especially if you're in parenting, just to create moments. It doesn't have to be Imposter. It can start off as something simple, wherever it might be, but just to create a moment and figure that out. It's going to look different for everybody.
Yeah.
But for us, man, we've started playing cards. And I want to, man, what is the name? I want to say rummy. That's what there's so many versions of this, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, we play it and we've had fun. And in fact, my dad and Lynn come over and we have a great time with them. And we sit there around the card table, and they've actually taught my son, how to play cards so well that he's actually been beating all of us. And I'm like, and he's like, hey, I'm a card shark, you know?
Yeah, he's learning.
He's learning how to count cards because my dad kind of
Your
taught
dad
me how to do
knows
the
that
same
world,
thing.
man. Your dad, the gambler.
But even the talk around
Kenny
the table
Rogers.
of just kind of giving everybody a hard time, you know, and so if you're a non-competitive person and you're around competitive people that like to have fun, that might not be fun for you. My wife has learned to be that because she's non-competitive. Oh, as long as we're all having a good time. I'm like, no, we gotta win.
Well, and if you don't care to win,
you know,
you go be the food server. Go make us some snacks. You know,
why?
Go make us a sandwich.
He's not saying that to you, Linda.
Linda, I'm
this
not
is
talking
not
to you.
like,
Hey, I'm
hey, get
smarter
out.
than
Like,
that.
okay, just want to
I'm
be
telling
clear.
the person who doesn't care about playing.
Like, no, it's true.
Go contribute to
Hey,
this
man,
hangout time.
go make us a sandwich. Don't go read a book. If you enjoy reading a book, don't go do
No,
that.
we're gonna be together
But
as a family.
I need you to go.
If you're a friend and you're coming
Don't
over,
bake me some cookies,
you don't
by
have-
God.
you don't have to
You got
play,
any lemonade?
but you
Man,
gotta go bake.
Go squeeze some of those lemons over there. Put them in a glass of water and add some sugar, please. You know,
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not
You're
trying
not
to throw
playing
you under the
cards.
bus.
Hey, you ain't gonna play cards. Well, guess what? Them cookies ain't gonna bake themselves.
Hey, you know, those nachos ain't going to get out of that bag by themselves, baby. Why don't you go there and pick up a bag of nachos and you pull that thing out? You know that's a queso.
That Milo's tea don't pour.
Throw that case over there in that microwave. Would you do that for me? I mean, my God, it ain't just going to get out of that package in the bottle. I mean, in the bowl and in the microwave. Heat it up, man. We need some dip over here.
And when you bring that dip to us in our game, we bonded
And
with
my
your
God, don't bring me a
non-competitive
carrot. You can eat the
self.
carrot yourself. I want some fried. I want something fried. Give me some of those mozzarella cheese sticks. Yeah.
Man, when we first, this side note, when we first planned, we were part, when Highlands first started,
so funny.
we were there,
Oh, man.
very small, and we had this guy who's, I'll say his name. I mean,
Just
because
throw him out
name is,
there.
I won't say his whole
Oh,
name.
come on.
Rusty. Rusty, I mean,
Last name rhymes with.
yeah. He was the most life-giving person you've ever met. He would encourage you. If he saw you walk in,
Rusty,
he would say,
God bless you.
You are a man of God. I mean, he would just
Speaking life, exhortation,
the
gifting.
greatest guy.
Yeah.
We would sit at the table, and I remember us sitting. I mean, I think it was me, Lane, Summer, and Rusty one night sitting at a table at his house, and it's Summer and Lane on the same team. Me and Rusty.
Oh man.
Well, Summer's very competitive.
So is Lane, of
obviously,
course.
he's a race car driver, so he's very competitive. Well, they are killing us because Rusty, we would play a spades, and he'd be like, "Is an ace of spades good?"
Oh man.
And if you don't know
Rusty.
that game, you don't give away your cards.
And you might as well fold. Done. Game over.
Or Summer would play a hand, and it's like he could beat her if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And he was like, "But I want you to feel good," and he would play trash. And I'm like, Rusty.
Are you playing, did you say spades? Is that what you were playing?
Spades.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, "Hey, Rusty, we play to win," and he just didn't care. He would have been better to go get that cake ready.
That's Linda. That's Linda. But what, man? You know what's funny though?
Don't give away the game.
What's funny though, and I'll say this, like, and you know, I may pay for this later. I'm kidding.
You might reach out to me later and say, "Will you
edit that part of the episode out?" No, generally speaking, she's okay if anybody wins but me. She doesn't want me to win, and she'll be telling you like,
That's funny.
because I am
Why?
like, I think I traumatized her early in our marriage when I was very competitive and I was not self-aware enough to know how like this wasn't a good thing, and so I've grown a lot, and so now I'm like, it really, I do want to win, but I don't stress it as much as I used to. But I used to be like, ha, what's up, suckers? Boom, I won. Ha, you know, I'm the best, and just kind of rub it in everybody's face.
I remember you and Michael were pretty terrible winners.
But I loved, it was fun for me, not so much fun for those who didn't win. And so I didn't.
Of course.
Right, of course. Especially, and so it was like, I don't care who wins, but I don't want him to win. Yeah. It's kind of like me with Alabama football. I don't care. I just don't want them to win. You know what I mean? Like, I was traumatized, you know, and so it just is what it is. And I just don't want them to win. And so, but we've gotten better because now we're playing a game to where I'm actually trying to set her up so that she actually can win and do
set
well.
her up for the win.
Well, because I can play a card and she's the next one in line, and typically she's like, thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. I love you.
See, you guys are
because
bonding.
I'm playing a marathon, baby, is what I'm doing.
That's
I recognize that this game's only going to last so long, but there's going to be life on the other side of this thing if I play it right.
Ultimately, you're going to score.
Yeah, ultimately, I'm going to score some way.
That's
you know,
the goal.
And speaking of marriage, yes.
Yes, win at life, man.
All I do is win no matter what.
Well, that's a good way
I
to look
got
at
something on my mind, and I'm not going to tell you what it is.
That's called wisdom. You're maturing.
I'm mature. Mature. Is it maturing or maturing?
We
Back
grew
to our
up
words.
saying mature it.
Okay, maturing.
But
all right,
I have
maturing.
learned that it sounds a little fancier to say mature.
Maturing.
So I did actually use the corrected way. You're maturing.
But I am. And so I recognize that life is long, and I love my wife, and I want to bless her in ways. And I've learned that. And so I deny myself, because that's
Humility.
what good husbands do.
Humility always wins.
And when I humble myself, God exalts me. And
He will.
And he does.
And it's a principle, man.
It is.
It's obvious. If we would just go by God's principles, if you serve, you will be served. It just happens.
It does. But when I win now, and it's not very much because this game is very hard to win at. But when I do win, I win with. I don't hold it over people's head. I'm like, man, that was a good game. That was a lot of fun.
Right.
I'm glad I won, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And so I've just dialed my. What's the word? My outgoingness, like you get on this podcast. I've dialed that down from like 100 to like 20.
Yeah,
because I know the room at this point.
I'm teaching.
You know?
I'll say one of my boys.
Yeah.
I won't say which one, but I mean they remind me of me. They are so competitive. Like if they don't win, there will be tears. Like it's because it's that important. And I'm like, oh, buddy, I get you. I promise, I get you. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I was there too, man. I just had to win, and that's a good thing. And you just got to learn how to maintain those emotions in a way, and that is I know some grown adults that don't know how to do that. In fact, I mean, I was one of them for a while.
That's right. I mean, that's the thing we talked once again about agenda before. It doesn't mean you give up the drive to actually go achieve, and like, you got to keep that. If that's who you are, you're denying your wiring. But there is a way to try to if you got the drive to win and achieve,
Yeah.
there still has to be the right way to go about it. It's like, it goes back to what's the motive of this drive? Is your motive pure?
Yeah,
And
and
so
I think
in
that,
athletics, go win, go do
Yeah.
all your stuff. But it can't be everything to you. Like if you lose, yeah, grieve a second of it, but remember what you do after that, you're impacting those around you.
it's having a healthy realization that my identity is not tied to whether I win or lose, because that's not who I am. Who I am comes from a deeper rooted place
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to cancel a kick six party. I mean, a Christmas
Right.
party after the kick six Auburn Alabama game happened, like I actually did.
Did you really?
Oh yeah,
Are you serious?
Brett.
I did not know this.
Oh yeah,
I was living in Wetumpka, Alabama at the time, and so I didn't realize that at all.
yeah. I didn't realize how much I had let the Alabama 2-year national championship winning streak affect me.
Wow.
And when we played Auburn, as most people will know, but you might not know,
Yeah.
that it's the biggest rival in college football, arguably.
Yeah.
And Alabama was up. Auburn came back literally in the last few minutes
It was
to tie it
all
up.
we need is a second. That's all we need.
Alabama was kicking a game-winning field goal, or at least overtime.
Fell short.
Auburn catches it in the end zone, runs it all the way back, wins the game.
They weren't expecting anybody to be back there to try to catch a ball.
No,
And whoever the coach was that made that call, that was
he
a great
regrets
call.
it, Rhett. He regrets it. He told, no, I'm kidding. But that stopped Alabama's streak of I forgot how many games they had won, going for 3 national championships in a row. Anyway,
Yeah. I didn't realize it had that great of an impact on you.
So to
How
paint
old
that
would you
night,
have been?
well, that was 2000.
34?
Was that 2000? Yeah, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was older than I should have been for this reaction to happen.
Yeah, but wow. And so you
And
canceled
so
the party after
we had a Christmas party that night. People were coming over.
that.
We had Michael Bublé in the background already. Summer's trimming the tree. We've got the brownies in the oven. It's the
You
perfect
had some
night.
Auburn fans coming over, and you didn't want to hear it
I can't
from
even
them.
remember.
Oh, it had to have been. If they were all
I know-
Alabama
all
fans,
I
you'd
know
have been
is
fine.
when the game ended, like
You'd have been-
Summer,
yeah.
I still remember, I'm looking at the flat screen over the fireplace, and to the left is our tree. I remember looking at Summer, and she's looking at me wide-eyed, almost like, "Are you okay?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I just need a minute. And I went into my master bedroom. This is me confessing, guys. I went to my master bedroom and I had to pray. And I was like, Lord, why? Like, Lord, why do I let this affect me? I'm like, these are 18, 19, 20-year-olds, God. Why do it's just a stupid game. And I'm trying to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Like, give me strength, Lord. And I go back into the living room. I'm trying to just have a good time.
Yeah.
And I can't. And I tell Summer, I was like, can we see if we can push the party till tomorrow night? And she's so gracious. She said, yes.
Yeah.
And we shifted everything to the next night. And Rhett, we turned the music off. I sat on the couch and I watched every game to see how do we get Alabama back in this national title, which they did not.
Which is every Alabama's
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll get in there. we can lose 5 games and we still deserve to
but
win.
That is my
Be in there,
confession that I realized in that year. I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world?
It takes a real man to be that vulnerable over Alabama football the way you just did.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm not
you're not like that
anymore.
No, you got set free. There's just one of those moments.
It still pains me to lose, but my gosh, I'm not. I mean, that was an epic night we had ready for people.
And here I am on the other end of this thing. I'll remember where I was watching my TV, hit my knees, screaming and laughing as hard as I could. I might as well have been on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. It was amazing. I have a next door neighbor who's a veteran and a diehard Alabama fan, straight up redneck, and he was proud of it, and he just always trashed Auburn and always spoke all this crap, and we had no reason to win, and we won. I walked out the front door. I literally walked out the front door of my house, and I screamed to the top of my lungs because I knew he could hear me through his house, and I was like, come on, that's what I'm talking about.
Referencing Rhett's earlier deal about a sore winner.
Oh yeah, sore winner. Yeah. So I wouldn't do that now. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But I literally ran around the house outside, came back in, screamed like it was. every emotion I could possibly express in excitement, I wanted him to hear. And because, it was just, and my wife's like, what in the heck is happening? And at that point, I think it hit her because she's from Texas. She realized, wow, this has a hold on Rhett in a way that we need to pray for him on the other end.
Right? You're like, something epic just happened, clearly.
But if you're an Auburn fan, that happens once in a generation. So, we got to take it right. At least I'm realistic. But
when we finally found freedom on our two spectrums, Rhett, we came back together. It was like the party could start again, and it was seriously like, well, I'm 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm just now. No, here's the truth. I'm just not. I'm still an Auburn football fan, but come on, baby, let's go basketball. We'll take it where we can get it. That is a huge, big deal that they are number one in crushing everybody in their way. So here's what's about to happen as we land the plane on this episode. Justin is going to leave the house kindly, and we'll see if we have a podcast for next week. Okay, we might need a couple of days. We might have to.
Filter this.
Yeah, just kidding. No, totally. That is not. We have smiles on our face.
This
and
is an episode that feels more like the Monday morning talk show. So you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is.
We need the button.
5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday to you. Hey guys, it's been fun having you on the ride today. We cannot wait for next week. God bless. Oh man, this is a good time.
On the next episode of Armchair Authentic. I love Starbucks, but sometimes you got to hold just a bit of a protest. And I'm not protesting them forever. I'll be back. I'll go. We have a small group there.
I'm kind of like a what now? What happened? What did you read? What did you see?
It wasn't
what
anything I read.
What am I unaware of?
It really just might be my own little tantrum. And I just need to get it out of the way, and I'm good. And I'll probably be back tomorrow.
We can't just bypass that.
I'll tell you what the tantrum is.
Okay.
So everybody can hear it out there. Starbucks has gone to this new policy. So if you're in their dining area to sit down, make it your third place where you just chill.
Yeah.
They want to go more to porcelain mugs.
So are they forcing the porcelain mug on you, or do they give you the option to continue to have the cup?
You forfeited your refill, basically, unless you do a porcelain cup. So my boycott for a day.
Yeah, I want to see how long this goes. And I'm not going to dare you on this because I've learned, guys, that if you dare Justin on this, let's see, I bet you won't last a day. No, 7 years later.
No, I don't want to give up Starbucks. We're really looking forward to that conversation. If you're enjoying these episodes of Armchair Authentic, would you do something for us? Would you rate and review our podcast? It would mean so much to us. Thank you. Well, friends, we're looking forward to our next episode next Monday on Armchair Authentic.